Welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I'm Ronique, and this is my esoteric journey where I'm consistently learning progress over perfection. This is one of these times that I feel like the astrology and the tarot cards are really highlighting what is going on up in the universe, or up in the heavens, as I like to say, because we really are at a time that we really need to tap into our own individual selves and learn what it is we need personally to get through these very challenging times. So I do appreciate you joining me here on Scorpio Soul Time. If you haven't been here before, this is usually where I do tarot reading, but then I also use the astrology to highlight where we are at in the lunation cycles. So I usually come on every full moon and new moon cycle, which occurs about every 2.5 weeks. And I like to highlight what I feel like personally is challenging that is going on, but also what it is that we can take forward, if you will, like what informations and energies we can use forward. So I appreciate you joining me. If you would hit the subscribe bell, and there's the subscribe button, and then there's the bell that notifies you when I come out with new videos, I would really appreciate it. So today we're actually talking about the second new moon in Cancer at 28 degrees, 26 minutes on July 20th, 2020 at 1:32 p.m. And I actually think this is a very interesting new moon because it's actually our second Cancerian new moon. And the Chariot card is one in which in the tarot, the number 7 is actually the card. I think it's interesting that we're in July and it's the 7 energy, and this is our second time we are having a new moon in Cancer. So that first new moon in Cancer was at 0 degrees back on June 21st when we had the summer solstice, and now this is the second new moon, but now it is at 28 degrees, so it's all the way at the end of Cancer. So the Chariot card is one that really embodies control, wanting to be able to choose your destiny, almost like the yin and yang of like, where do I steer these wild horses to ensure that I'm going to have the future that I want. But of course he has this chariot behind him, which also signifies more of that home, being able to be like master of your own destiny, but also like master of your home, your family, what you find secure. So there is this kind of like polarity or duality of how do we steer our lives in a direction that we really want to go. And I think that in this new moon cycle, since we're on the second new moon, that first new moon back on June 21st was a eclipse. It was a solar eclipse. And so that was really a time of great, profound, not only change, but like planting the seeds of change. And so I think that we all need to realize that we can see it playing out in the collective, from the schools to unemployment to, racial injustice to, there's just so many, you just turn on the news and you can see where this duality of the Cancerian side of home, family, security, to Capricorn, which is government and rules, regulations, things that are very grounded, because Cancer is the water energy while Capricorn is the earth energy. So there is this tug of war, if you will, that we're experiencing between these two different polarities. And remember, we are now at the ending cycle of these Cancer Capricorn eclipses. So this new moon here on July 20th is really going to bring up events in your life that are, it's almost like you're going to have these planting of seeds because it is a new moon, and new moons mean that the sun and the moon are sitting side by side, or they're conjunct in the sky. So the moon is getting illuminated, or I should say the moon is being darkened by all of the sun's energy. And so since they're both in Cancer, there's also this, I think it's interesting that the sun, the moon, and Mercury are all standing in the sky in Cancer. So that's why you're seeing a lot of communication. Remember, Mercury rules communication, technology, how the collective tends to think about things. It also is like this energy of like, what is it that we all need to feel secure in our home life, but also our family? What is it that, I think it's interesting that the whole education conversation now is coming up, right? With our kids going back to school in the fall. And I mean, here they're supposed to be starting August 10th here in Jacksonville, Florida, but we're already hearing like this information coming out from, the federal government and whatnot in terms of what they want to control. And we don't like anyone messing with our children, right? So it's like there's this energy around the Cancerian. What is it that I need to feel secure? What do I need from my family to feel secure? And so since it's all sitting across the sky, from Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn are still all in Capricorn, and these are all retrograded planets. So there really is, this is the tension right now, because you can see the sun, the moon, Mercury all across the sky from Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. There definitely is going to be tension. And I mean, tension is probably not even the word to describe it right now, right? There just seems like there's not even a place to breathe. And I think many of us at this new moon, the second new moon, are going to have more conversations with ourselves, with our family, with our loved ones about what is it that we need to do to feel like we have more control over our own lives. I think the Cancerian new moon also wants you to take better care of yourself, wants you to nurture yourself, nurture your family. Sit down with your kids and explain, what is going on if they're of an age. I know my daughter is going to be going into high school, and so she very much is aware of all the tensions that are going on with the government, with education, So it's definitely a time of like expanding what it is that you planted back on that June 21st new moon. But it's also this time of like, you might have to plant new seeds in order to feel comfortable moving forward, if that makes sense. I really want you to hone in on that nurturing, being able to control more of your home life and not giving all your power away to the powers that be. Because I think that we are definitely in this time where it's like, if you give up all your powers to everyone else, you are definitely going to feel like you just don't have any grounding. And I think that Capricorn energy with, those powerful planets of Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter right now, we're seeing like the government and all of these entities. And it could even be smaller than the government. It could be just like in your own work life or wherever like you make your living. You might be seeing increased power there or power struggles. Remember, Mars did go into Aries and will stay there until January of 2021. And so you're seeing that Mars and Aries also play out as we're seeing more, violence is just off the Richter scales right now. And the power struggles, they can be violent, but they can also be more covert, like under the surface, meaning like you might see power struggles at work. You might see power struggles amongst entities that feel like, there's just not the same amount of give and take as before. So I really think that we are in this cycle, you all, that we're going to have to be patient. We're going to need to, like I said, go within and kind of figure out what is it that me personally, but also my family, my loved ones, what is it that's going to make you feel like you have more control over your own life? Because as I told you back in the beginning of 2020, I want you to go back and listen 6-month cycles. Remember, I made that playlist here on Scorpio Soul Time. If you look at the solar eclipse playlist, those are really good videos to go back to in these different cycles, because you're going to see a reoccurring themes, because remember, eclipses have 6 months worth of energy. So I want you to go back, think about where is it in your life that the tug of war between your personal life, your home life, your family, your loved ones versus the outside world, the more governing type themes are occurring in your personal life, and see how you can maybe take control back and not give all your power away, because I think that that's how you're going to be able to get through this very challenging time. So let's pull some cards, past, present, and future. I'm going to use, today I'm using the Tarot of Dreams. Let me get it for you. So this is the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti. That's actually the guidebook, but there is the front of the deck. And I really like this deck. I've used it before. It's one of my favorites. It really has really pretty illustrations, and I think it's really colorful, and I love how it's black, so it's kind of like a little more dramatic. So let me tap into these energies here of this second new moon in Cancer. So what do we have for our second new moon in Cancer for July 20th? Second new moon in Cancer, July 20th. And I want you to be thinking as well, like think through what is it that has taken a major detour, if you will, since I feel like a lot of energy has really happened between all those eclipses. Like, we just had 3 eclipses, so I just feel like we've had so much change between the beginning of June to the end of July. Like, if you think through like just what I've been through personally, I know, like, at my job, I now can work from home remotely, so that's been nice. But there's just been so much going on, my goodness. All right, so we're going to do past, present, and future. Okay, so for the past, I got the Palace of Coins reverse. In the present, I got the Ace of Coins in reverse. And I've got the Queen of Coins. Isn't that interesting? So we literally got all Pentacles today for the past, present, and future. I always find it interesting that when I do my videos with you all my cards are always reversed. I think that's always interesting, because when I do my cards on my own, they don't always come out like this. So that's always very interesting. There must be some energies that play out when I do the on-screen video that makes everything turn the other way. So as I've told you in the past, I like to turn everything, when the entire spread is reversed, I like to turn it all this way so I can read it to you, and then I'll explain how the reverse energies play out. So in the past, we have the Palace of Coins, and so this is actually a card that is not necessarily represented in the Rider-Waite traditional tarot deck, but it is a card that the author what's his name? Miro Marchetti? I always get his name wrong. What is it? Ciro Marchetti. So Ciro Marchetti, he created these palaces, which was basically like the ultimate like it's almost like the higher, I was going to say octave, but whatever is like the next level above the ace. He did this palace where it would be, this would be where you would have the comforts of that suit. So palace of coins, you can see like there's this deer and these like this lush garden, and you can see up here this owl. I think it's interesting that that owl is up there looking at us. And this house, of course, looks all lush. And so there is really this theme of what is it that's going to make you feel comfortable? What is it going to make you, what is it in this period of time that's going to make you really enjoy your fruits of your labor? And of course, this is an earth sign, and remember I said this Capricornian energy is very strong. So I think that it's interesting that in the past, it's basically saying, where is it in your physical world, whether it is money, resources, the ability to make your life in your physical world, what is it that you need to feel secure and feel really comfortable with where you're at? And with it being in the reverse, I think it's saying you've had that struggle, right? I think this whole, we've been talking about it, I think this whole entire, spread is saying there is a struggle here to obtain this. But I think that there's also, at this second new moon in Cancer, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to figure out what it is you can do to achieve this. And I think in the present with this Ace of Coins, remember aces are, the top of the deck, or you can either call it the beginning of the deck or you can call it the very highest of the deck, however you look at aces. But I always like this depiction because this pentacle is so big and huge that you need this, very Goliath, muscular, almost like a god holding up this Ace of Coins. And so it's like this power of being able to control your destiny, of how much money you're going to bring in and how much resources you're going to be able to obtain, and you feeling really good about, it's like a blessing from the universe. Like the Ace of Coins is always like, aces are a blessing from the universe that you may not have even known was coming in. So this could be a symbol that in this present time, we're all going to have like this realization that we have maybe more power over our money, over our jobs, over our material wealth than we realize. But with it being in reverse, it can also mean like there's a delay of this happening. There's a struggle. Maybe this is the power struggle that I was talking about with the Mars in Aries. Like there could be, you want to get to this point and you feel like you're so close to this point, but it hasn't materialized yet. And in the future, we have the Queen of Coins. So very, very, this makes total sense with all of this Capricornian energy, because with the Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter all in Capricorn, I'm also seeing these themes of you have more, it's almost like you have more in your arsenal. I keep hearing more in your arsenal than you think, meaning like the Queen of Coins always represents like that motherly figure, but she knows exactly how to get what she wants. She knows, she's a very seasoned veteran when it comes to being able to save and being able to get the material things she likes around her, and being able to really nurture those people and places and things that are of the material world, to be able to get her jewels, to get her lifestyle that she likes. Her family is very well off. And so there is this theme though of, since everything is in the reverse, there's also a theme of what is it that's been holding you back for you not to be able to obtain these riches in life. What is it that we've all been giving our power away? Remember I said that in the beginning, like we're all going to have to use this Cancerian new moon to plant new seeds to be able to obtain these things. Because since these were all in reverse, I'm getting this sense of we're not here yet. We want to be here. We want to feel like our home and our world and our security is, you know, very well, what I want to say, like deep and foundational roots of, okay, we don't have to worry about our job. We're feeling very secure about where we're going, and we're going to be able to stay at our job for, you know, 20 years and have Social Security and have, you know, money in the bank and be able to send the kids to college. Like that's what we all want. But the reality is that in this time right now, it's all so uncertain. It's all so unclear. And so I think that that's why there's this very strong energy of like, get it together, guys. Like you cannot keep waiting for your boss to give you a promotion. You cannot keep waiting for the schools to tell you what you can and can't do. You're going to have to make these decisions about your material, physical world on your own, with your family, with those that you feel secure with. And then, you know, be able to be fluid though, be able to bob and weave, if you will, as information does come from the outside world. But this is really the strong message from Spirit saying, you have more control than you think. It's not here yet, but you can tell that it's coming. All right, so I'm gonna do some clarifier cards and see. It's almost like we don't even need clarification on this one, because it's just like this strong pentacle earth Capricornian energy is definitely here. And I think that there's also like this, let's just saw that Two of Pentacles fly out, so I think that's interesting. Now it didn't all the way fly out, so I'll put it back in, but there's another pentacle card. So I think it's interesting that there's just this pentacles, pentacles, pentacles. And in this deck it's called coins, but same thing. It's just like earth energy is just like, I'm here, I'm here. And I mean, I'm sure that we can all see this playing out. Also, for me, I've noticed that I've been one of the fortunate people to be able to have a secure job that, you know, I'm still employed, that I enjoy. But I know, like, looking back over these, you know, 6 months to a year, it has not been easy. Like, this has been like quite a journey for me from a career standpoint. And like now that we're moving into the fall soon with like the whole school thing, I've noticed like there's this tug of war inside of me that's kind of like, I don't want my child to go physically back to school to be like in a guinea pig type environment, but then I don't want to, you know, you don't want to have your kids, you know, just being a homebody. So I definitely can see how, you know, this has been playing out for me personally. And how have you seen it in your life? Like, have you experienced like this tug of war between like the Cancerian home family energy versus like the more Capricornian energy of those rules, regulations? And it also has to do with like Saturn. Like Saturn has moved back into Capricorn. Remember, it was in Aquarius these last few months, and now that it's moved back into Capricorn, there really is this like you feel that tension. Like there's just so much tension right now. I think that's like, if you wanted to sum up where we are at energetically right now, it's tension. It really is, with a capital T. So let's clarify where we are at with all of these pentacles. I just heard shuffle again. So let me shuffle again. So what information do we know to clarify the Palace of Coins? What do we need to know to clarify the Palace of Coins? Okay, so we have the Magician. Very nice. What do we need to clarify the Ace of Coins? Ace of Coins. What do we need to clarify the Ace of Coins? Okay, Six of Wands in reverse. Very nice. And what do we have in the future to clarify? Oop, that kind of fell out, kind of didn't, so I'm not going to take it. Queen of Coins. I usually only take the jumpers when they like come out on the table. So, Queen of Coins. What do we need to know? Ah, Ace of Cups. Very nice. We got two aces on the ground. All right, so we got two reversals and then we got one upright. So let's start with the Magician. So the Magician is, I call him the ace of the major arcana because he is the number one card. You can see the infinity sign above his head, meaning everything that is beginning is also an end. Like we are in a fluid period of time where you have more control over your life than you realize. You have everything that you need. You have the cups, the pentacles, the wands, and the swords. You can see this lush fruitfulness around him. Like this is the card of mastery. Like you have everything you need, all the tools. Like I said, remember I said the arsenal? I kept hearing that in my head. You have everything in your arsenal to empower you to do what you need to do. And so I think that it paired up with the Palace of Coins. In the past, you've been giving your power away. That's what I just heard. You've been giving all of your energy, mindfulness, resources. The reason why you haven't been able to obtain this Palace of Coins is because you haven't honed in on your personal gifts, your personal strengths. I think it's very easy, especially in the climate that we're in, to assume that there is these higher level of governance that we have to abide by. And not saying to go out and break the law. I'm saying you also still need to take back control of your own life, of your own destiny. And before we're able to really move through this time of change, you're not going to be able to get to this place of really fruitful harvest around your home life if you cannot master what is in your own domain. Does that make sense? So I want you all to think through this, because in the past, Spirit is telling you, like, you have what you need. You don't need to keep waiting and looking outside of your own home in order to get this. And I think this new moon in Cancer is really highlighting that. The Cancer new moon is saying, like, we are now at the end of this next Cancerian cycle. Like, we are coming to a closure of this Cancerian season. So it's time to take what you have in your arsenal and be able to use it now in the present. And so in the present, we had it Six of Wands in reverse. And the Six of Wands is always a really joyful card to me, because you can see he's coming back on his horse. All of the townspeople are celebrating his accomplishments. You can see the wreath up here. And so the Six of Wands is really that good job. We're so proud of you for doing what you did. You were able to, maybe he came back from war. Maybe he, just came back from a battle that, he was able to be successful, and you can see all of the green. So there really is this fruitful nature to it. And I think that's interesting as it's clarifying the Ace of Coins, because remember I was saying the Ace of Coins really is the epitome of where you are at, of wealth, resources. Like, this is as high as you can get, that gift from the universe. So with this Six of Wands in reverse, I'm almost sensing you have this wanting or feeling of wanting to be acknowledged, wanting to share these successes with other people around you, but you haven't been able to. Like there's a struggle, or there's a feeling of not being able to get to this point because of your almost like disconnection with these coins. So I'm almost hearing like whatever it is in your life that you're kind of been putting off due to whether it's been the pandemic, whether it's been, you know, unemployment, whatever has been holding you back. I'm hearing that you're worried, or you're not in your right place yet in order to experience these Ace of Coins. You're not able to like enjoy the fruits of your labor because you've been looking in other places. So I almost think that this Ace of Coins and the Six of Wands is almost like this. It's almost like going back to like, you have what you need, but you haven't been using it. So you can't even get to this point yet mentally, because you've been so worried about, how can I get this Ace of Coins? How can I get my footing? I hear like, I can't even get, you know, it's kind of like every time we think we're moving ahead 5 steps, something else comes up and then you kind of get pushed back. So I kind of think that there's this lack of feeling like you're actually accomplishing anything. Like I feel like we're all kind of like in this waiting mode, in this present state. Like I want to get to this Ace of Coins, but I can't, because I'm waiting on things. I'm waiting on people to tell me that I can move forward. I'm waiting on, like, I want to have this great feeling right now, but I just can't. So I think that in this new moon cycle, take that time, like I said, to practice self-care, whether it's exercising, eating right, getting out into nature. My family have been trying to do this thing every Saturday where we go to a local park, and you know, my daughter goes and gets on her skateboard, and me and my husband like walk around the trail. It really is important in order to get back to this green, lush feeling of security. We're gonna have to practice better self-care. And I can tell that here with the Ace of Cups, because the Ace of Cups, this is our second ace. Let's read it upright first. So the Ace of Cups, once again, is a gift from the universe. Cups now have to deal with water energy. So this could definitely be the Cancerian energy. This could be, there's emotional gifts coming for you, but they just haven't materialized yet until you kind of make peace with where you need to go in the future. And I think with the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Coins, there's almost like this sense that she can help us, but we're going to have to emotionally get in the right place, or we're going to have to, maybe there's actually going to be gifts of emotional support that comes to us in the future. It could be in the form of a person who possibly will, maybe it's someone offering us a job. Maybe it's someone who is offering, you know, you don't have time to watch your children, and someone comes in and can offer you, you know, babysitting for free. Or maybe it's more of an emotional energy that you just need someone to talk to. So I feel like there is definitely blessings coming in the future between the Queen of Coins and the Ace of Cups. It's like there's these little glimpses from the universe that, even though it seems all doom and gloom, all of these cards are very positive. Like we didn't get any, you know, negative energy cards today. And I think that's really foretelling, or fortuitous, if you will, of what's going on in our world. Because even though with our eyes everything looks just like it's going down the toilet, I think that there's this energy of like, you're gonna have to look in different places to see the riches that are coming out of this transformation. Like, we're going through this transformative time, and just these two aces here, the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Coins, there are these glimpses of how the universe is handing us opportunities. And I think that there is going to be a lot of opportunities that come through the other side of this time that we're in so many different professions and different ways of looking at things. I mean, the other day I just saw someone saying that this would be a great time for some of the teachers to quit their, normal public school jobs and start tutoring online for, X amount of dollars, and maybe only do 10 children, so that they will have more control of their life, better one-on-one experiences with the kids. Like, I just think it's interesting that every time we go through a crisis, something emerges on the other side that is beneficial for the future. And I really think that that's the theme here of the Capricornian energy, of us coming into our own. Remember, we just came out of that Capricorn full moon, and now this second Cancer new moon. So we are literally stepping out of this Cancerian Capricornian axis of home life versus what it is on the outside world that makes us feel secure. And I think that with this Ace of Cups and Queen of Coins, I mean, if you look at it right there, that Ace of Cups, that's Cancer. This Queen of Coins, that's Capricorn. So you can see, like, it's still going to play out. Like, even though we're moving through this energy, we're going to still be feeling this tug of war between those two signs as we go through these next 6 months. So I really think that this is a positive reading for once. I think that, the last few have been really hard, right? We had the Death card, and we had some, I remember back on one of them, we had the Death card, and then I think, did we have a Five of Cups? We definitely had some energies of stress, right? We had this energy of like, oh, how are we going to get through this? How are we going to get through this? But this right here really is showing me like we're heading in the right direction. Yes, there's still going to be some stresses. There's still going to be some tension. But this Magician, the Six of Wands, this Ace of Cups, all clarifying all of these pentacle physical energy. I think that we are really heading in a good place. I think we all have to just be vigilant, but I also think we all have to find what it is for ourselves that make us feel secure, that make us feel like we can turn these cards upright to be able to get to that palace of coins and to feel secure with our family. And the Ace of Coins, I mean, who doesn't want the Ace of Coins to really be able to say, like, I've honed in on what is important for me and my family. So this is good stuff, guys. I feel like we're heading in a good direction. It's just going to take some time. It's going to take you being patient, and I just look forward to see how this plays out in all of our lives, because it's definitely a transformative time, and you're just going to have to be patient with yourself, with people around you, with the governing agencies and entities that are ruling our lives. Figure out what you need in your home life first before you're worrying about what's on the outside world. I think that's like the biggest takeaway that I'm getting through this time. Okay, you all, thank you so much for joining me on Scorpio Soul Time. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. Please share it with your friends and family. I look forward to going through these energies with you, and I will see you all next time on Scorpio Soul Time. Thanks. Bye.